and I was thinking, and I travel and I go to places. I wanted to tell you that, in 2014, a lot of thoughts came to my head, and the thoughts were very worrisome in regards to the breed. I went back to the early 1990s, and what we were talking about with many different people, where there was some of the better dogmen at the time in the Bronx, or whether I was in North Carolina, South Carolina, or Florida. And there was a consensus in the voice of some of those old timers or men that I respect at the time. And I tell you this, they're not around, and they're much, those were dogmen, okay? I'm not gonna say they were elite dogmen, but I'm gonna say they were dogmen. Some of them were better than others. And the only reason I can say we're better than others, as humans, some of them were better than others, and as professionals, there is something called excellence. And when you become a professional, whether you're doing basketball, whether you're doing football, whether you're a school principal, school teacher, whether you're a father or someone that goes to church, or whatever you do, excellence is going to be that one thing that is going to define you from the rest. Okay? Because when you go towards excellence and you have a plan and the things are in place, sooner or later you start looking for results, and those results become merits, and those merits become the thing that build you. But the point what I want to get to is this. I knew that the changes were coming. I was told in the 1990s changes were coming, and I knew the crowd of people was changing, and that crowd of people that was changing was the reason why the breed was being destroyed. And all these men talk about this exit. They talk about the exit of their mentors, how they left the breed, and how they were planning on leaving the breed as well. They didn't want to be around the new crowd coming in after 2007 with the Michael Vick deal.
They were always talking about humans, not about the dogs.
They were talking about the humans, how the humans, the so-called doggers and these thugs were destroying. They didn't have the principles. They didn't have the understanding. The culture was not correct. And they had, some of them didn't have a way to express, and so they try to talk. And I go back into memory lane, and I'm driving in North Carolina in the front seat, and we have three guys. I'm the only Hispanic, they're all three whites, and they're telling me this. And I'm in the Bronx, and they're all Latinos, and I'm the only one that is not Caribbean, they're telling me this. I'm in Texas, and I'm with a bunch that is mixed with all kinds of people, and blacks, whites, Hispanics from different places, very Mexican, Mexicans. And as they talk, they are talking about these changes that are happening. So it was a consensus thing. And, it was very difficult for me not having all the ideas, the structure in my head, and all the understanding and the broad picture of what the dog, the breed itself it is, and so on and so forth. I was still forming some ideas in my head. But I knew of this danger of the breed coming to an end. And this worried me from that very moment. And it's a sad thing. I don't even like to talk about it, but I wanted to make this video for you guys. As you can tell, I just came back from a walk. And I think when I'm walking, I think a lot. It reminds me when I used to walk my dogs. And I tell you this. We come into a position in society where I meet very, very game people. That I meet the right people, the people that have this tremendous amount of relentlessness, never give up. And it's surprising how, I won't say ignorant, but how much they don't know about gayness. They have it in themselves, they practice it, they are warriors of their own, but they don't know the connection that once upon a time it was between the elite level of the American Pitbull Terrier of those times. And remember, back in the 1800s and the 1900s, those were the dogs. There were no different, there were those dogs. There were some people that were better than others. But like today, there's really like a swamp full of all kinds of crazy people. One guy has a giant pit bull. It's not a pit bull. It has nothing to do with a pit bull. And nor the guy, nor the demeanor, nor the protection dogs, all this stuff has anything to do with the real American Pit Bull Terrier. But the word pit bull is amazing. It means never give up. It is so American. It is the American dog that was created in the endings of the 1700s, beginning of the 1800s. It took some time. It was molding. And by the time they recognized those dogs that my grandfathers brought from England and Ireland, now they have morphed into something that we have here. How are we going to call it? These are dogs. And the one that have a dog that represent the American spirit, the men that founded the United States of America. Those principles. The one that had that dog, that it was courageous, never give up or stand up against tyranny. The one that had a dog that was a sample for their children to have that dog. It was their answer against Europe, against the Brits, against the Germans, and the one that they call it American over anything. And that dog represented America. Of course, had to be strong, had to have the heart and everything else. These dogs they came from the time where America didn't have the internet, the cell phones, the social media, or even electricity or cars. And by the way, this mug, I thank my wife because I have to thank her all the time. You know, the coffee is already here. It's also on Buck there. Always those amazing memories of the amazing dog. Thank you, God. So when you look at these people today, and they are so confused, it is really sad. And then I look back at those days in the 1990s, and those people were saying we live in the breed, you know. I can't take it no more. The guys that we have around there, they're not good, so I'm dropping the dogs. A phenomenon happened. These guys were already thinking about getting rid of these dogs for a long time.
Because of bad humans.
Because of bad people. You know, the people were coming in, pouring in, and they were pouring by the thousands. But in 2007, the Michael Vick thing was a switch. Click! This man left, vanished, dropped the dogs. And the ones that grabbed them were the criminals, the thugs, the lowlifes, the completely underground. It was like having the American Pit Bull Terrier. It became an honor for a thug.
And clarify, we are not talking about race. We are talking about culture.
No. It's all colors. All colors. There's no such a thing. It's all colors. And so they came in, and so we're not just talking about white people, because they're the majority of the United States, or Hispanics, or I'm Hispanic, or blacks, or anything like that. It's all people across the line, and it had to do with culture. The lower the culture, the quicker they want to have a dog. The higher the intellect, the higher the financial status, the higher in society, the more those people that actually, the guys that give the jobs, create America today, those guys got attached to a poodle, to a Yorkie, to a Shih Tzu, to a bull terrier in some cases, to a Frenchie, they call them today. And what happens is, this generation was born, talking about, I'm almost 30 years in the dogs. And when I see a guy 25, 27 years old, or even a 30-year-old guy, he was 5 years old when I got into the dogs. So he's a child in the dogs. Mm-hmm. And that guy met the Pitbull, the 2LXL, all these dogs that are genetically wrong. If we are going to call these dogs the dogs, then, and I'm not blaming the people. I don't want them to be upset. I'm not blaming them, but I'm saying the truth. The men in the past that quit the breed, the left, they didn't have the courage to stand up. And I don't want to hear it. Some of them came back now and say, oh, I'm still alive, I'm still here, whatever, just to kind of grab from the social media splash. And listen to me, there's a big difference between me talking about dogs. I got merits. I'm the most merited dogman ambassador of the breed in the history. I don't want to say it all the time, but I have to say it because I don't want somebody to say, oh, but this guy, that guy. Don't compare me. Do me a favor. Don't compare me. You are the face of the elite. I am the face of the elite American Pit Bull Terrier. Don't come here with a little cheesy Honda. I am a Ferrari, I'm a Bugatti. Don't do that. When it comes to American Pit Bull Terrier, I have a lot of pride because I pay the price. 1 second, I got to get to my point. Mm-hmm. So, this new society inherited the leftovers of the great days. So because in the early 1990s, I was listening to these people but they quit. By the time 2007 came, they already said, like, man, I'm ready to pack it in. Talking about 17 years later, I'm already pack it in. So they left. Boom. And then I said it, and that's why I moved to Brazil. I said it. This is the end of it. And I made a few calls to a few people. And I said, this is the end of it. In about 5 to 6, 7 years, everything will be watered down. In about 10 years from now, there'll be pedigrees full of people in between. And those people in between will have absolutely no voice, no merits, no quality, no understanding, no nothing. A pedigree, even some dogs might even look like it, but they won't be the real deal.
Empty.
They'll be empty houses, you know, and the principles, and it will become worse. But society itself, you know, adapted that idea. And so the amount of people that get this message is very, very little. Like, you know, you meet people and it's like, oh, look, and I have this dog. They don't know the truth about that. They don't know the truth about the greatest dog that the old Americans built.
They have an idea.
It was a transformation. They really don't. I'm sorry, because you know what they did? They blocked them. They blocked their mind. They blocked their mind, and they blocked their mind as being some evil dogs.
Let
and
me
stuff
ask you something. When you say a guy that is successful journalist, boxing commentator, calling Terence Crawford the dog, calling Canelo Alvarez the dog, this guy have a dog himself, is because they have an idea. They didn't.
Yeah, no, the underdog as well. Yeah, they do have an idea, but you know, they're talking about this boxer being the underdog.
No, it's not
about being the dog.
Yeah, he's the
about
dog.
being the dog.
Yeah, he's the
We're
dog.
not talking about this is a poodle. We're talking about this is a man.
Yeah.
It's a man that's willing to handle adversity.
And
Because
win.
really
And
this is
win.
what it is. You're willing to handle adversity and take care of it, and then have the heart to prevail and win. So that's what when we call somebody the dog. Say, okay, that guy is the dog. That's what it means to. We're not talking about a poodle. We're not talking about a Shih Tzu. We're not talking about a Frenchie, and those are all nice dogs. Don't get me wrong. Listen, if my wife was a little softer, she will have a Shih Tzu, but she won't have a Shih Tzu. I tell you what, she tried to have. It was what was that breed that she had? What was Tara's breed?
Spitz is a Pomeranian.
Pomeranian. She tried. The dog came. We paid what, $5,000 for the dog. The breeder made us blah blah. Got the dog. She liked us. Said, why you get this dog? She got the dog. She walked with the dog. People come over, play with the dog, whatever. Within a month, she gave it away completely for free. Here we go. This is the dog for you. You can have it. It was not for her, and it was not for her because she is a tough woman, and there was no mirror matching in personality. I tell you this. I'm in New York, in Brooklyn, New York. We're going for a bout of Wilder versus Brazil, and I'm jogging in the morning, early in the morning. Not jogging. I remember I was just walking, but having my morning walk. And I'm morning walking. I'm seeing these guys. You know, I'm out of shape. I'm a little bit on the heavy side, and I'm looking at these guys that look all buffed up. You know, like crossfitters and then bodybuilders and stuff like that. The whole pumped up younger guys, and you know, they walking these dogs, man. It's like, I mean, man, come on, man. I mean, I wouldn't be able to walk a dog like that. And it's not that the dog is bad. It's a great dog for my girlfriend to walk the dog. You know, I want a dog. You know, I started to have this really grab of the spirit when I was in the Bronx, New York. And in the Bronx, New York, even an old lady will walk an American Pitbull of some level, some shape, some form. But she wanted to have what was available to her, and what she understood was never give up and have that American personality.
Powerful heritage.
Heritage, never give up. So you can, you have these dealers of BS, dealers of crap, and some of them inherit this thing, and they have these things. And you know, I came up with the terminology real Pitbull, real American Pitbull, somewhere around 2014, 13. You can look it up. It was nowhere commercially that word was used. people went back to their old videos and changed and put real in front of it. And so I created real to represent the greatest American Pitbull Terriers in the history, my bloodline. Not because it's mine only. At one point, it became because it's mine, and people know my standards. I will only have this type of dog. But because of the merits they have with themselves. And when it comes to these people having this understanding of quality, it's completely amazing. And these guys came in and they took this label and put on their mutts. Every mutt they had, bully, double X, triple X, micro, whatever they had, put real in it. I said, okay, so I'm gonna try something. I'll call merited. Oh, I'm not elite level, global. No, that's a challenge. Oh, global don't mean nothing. Listen to me. There's in this thing about real, recognize real. You know, this is something that people is like super fake. Usually says real, recognize real.
No, it's because they take something that is meaningful and
then use it and destroy it. That's what I'm talking about. That's an example.
Completely
real
fake
American Pitbull Terrier, and it were my dogs, but they took the label. And now some real fake guy, oh, he's being real about it. So he's being real about it right now, and he's fake all the times. Listen, I will only walk in one mode, and people that know me, they understand. When you see Chico, this is what you're gonna get. He's gonna be just like this. You understand? And I'm a very kind person to my friends, and a very kind person to people that I meet for the first time. There are some things I don't stand. I can't stand mediocrity. I can't stand ignorant people, and I cannot stand, people that they really just have bad culture. I am a person that is becoming kind of obsessed with greatness, with excellence, and I kind of patrol myself. Are we doing this with excellence?
I don't think you are becoming. I think you're born like this.
And are we doing this with excellence? And I'm learning. Every time I travel, I have a new lesson in my head, and I'm thinking about it, and I said,
learn your patience.
How can I do this? And I continue to learn, and that's why I say myself perpetual rookie. But I'm the ambassador of my dogs. And people say, listen, but you're doing all this for the breed. Let me take a look at the breed. What do you call the breed? You call the breed that dog, and that giant dog, and that double X. I'm not doing anything for the breed. I promise you, I am absolutely telling you right now. And a consensus, you call that the breed. And if that is the breed, if that's what the acceptance of being fake is, because, today in society, they dress the woman as a man, and they call him her. So you cannot, call
woman
her,
of the year.
Call woman of the year. You can call him her. I mean, you cannot call her, so confused. You cannot call her him. It's a him. It was made by God as a him. But it's the same thing. Society in general, once you tell this is her, they try to brainwash you. They put the picture of, woman of the year and so on and so forth, whatever. Listen to me, I'm old school. I am God, family, country. This is me, my dogs. And I tell you one thing. When I look at that thing you call the breed, and I'm not part of that breed. I didn't fight for that. I didn't go and I didn't put my almost 30 years of hard work for that. What I'm working for is called Awesome Buck. It's called the Golden Vein. These are my dogs. And I'm very honest with you. They come out, oh yeah, we want to preserve the breed. And they have a dog that looks like an elephant. Well, I want to preserve the breed and the dog look like a rat. No, my friends, I'm not looking for that. I'm looking for a great dog that has an amazing heritage and everything on the pedigree is perfect. Beautiful dogs. When I look at that, look at the pedigree, this memory is going on my head. Wow! Look at the bottom. Wow! Look at the four. I look at it, it's like, oh my God. And I go through a trip in time.
And when you are talking about...
And I check on this and I say, thank God. Thank you so much for these dogs.
When you are talking about perfection, you are talking about 99%, right?
When I talk about perfection, perfection doesn't exist. It's 99%. And you're always going to have is really, people say like 99%, yeah. My friend, there is no one can give 100%. We like to call it 100%. But nobody gives 100%. And your very best is still going to be 99%. And then in reality, it's going to be 66%. And people are always coming, why you have this 66% equal 99%? I said, because that's results. When you talk about 100%, that's the way people talk about it. And I talk about 99%, we're talking about a mix of, when you say 100%, you're talking about hoping, wishing, pretending. When I talk about 99%, I talk about a mix of my hopes and a mix of reality and a mix of activity and a mix of results. But when I want to talk about results only, then I talk about 66%. And people say, Chico, what is the 66% rule of yours? But it's really not a 66% rule. And I didn't invent this. I was not born that smart to come up with this on my own, so don't take it. But I was smart enough to read books. And it's 33%, 33%, and 33% makes 39%, right? Do your math. 33% is, my friend, in life, no matter what you do, only by showing up, and many times only by being alive, only by a chance, only by luck, 2 months and you get a good one, and that 33% sometimes is given. You have to show up for sure, and the sample that I was presented with is a guy on a cross of the streets and right in the corner of a busy highway. He show up. Let's say he's there. Somebody's gonna honk. Say, hey, I got $10. I got $5. That is 33%. You understand? Now, that it comes as a gift, and that people live on that 33%. And that 33% sometimes only 20%. Sometimes it's 50%. When I say 33% is the maximum of that area of work. When it comes into the next area, which is I call it the toughest 33%, which I'm gonna tell you about. It is so amazing. This is the area of excellence. This is the area of never give up. This is the area of give everything you have and then reinvent yourself, because everything that you gave before was not enough because you make some mistakes. Learn from those mistakes. And that 33% is the guy show up at the corner, now he has a cup. The 33%, that'll be 66%, but 33 in this case, because I'm talking about this part. I already talked about
3 parts, right?
3 parts. I already talked about the first part. I'm talking about the second part. So this guy show up, which is the second 33%. The guy show up, now he has a cup, okay? And he put it out there, and more people coming in to get the money because they feel like they want to put the money. But this guy is smarter. He got a cardboard that says, I'm a veteran, I don't have a job, and I need some money for weed. And a lot of people that smoke weed, they feel bad for him. He's a veteran. I'm getting high. Let me give him some. And they give him money, weed money. And so that guy will maximize that 33%. And he probably get it all. He show up one day with a thing, broken arm, a sleeve with a broken arm, maybe fake, with a crush like that, with a hat of America, with the flag, and a patriot like Chico Lopez is driving. American flag. Oh my God. He represents the American Pitbull. Look at him. He broke his arm. He's here. He don't have a job. I have to give him some money. What is the money? Let's go to the ATM, get the money. Let's give him some money. He's American. So he'll maximize at 33%. So not everybody does maximize 30%. You got to maximize 30%. And then this 30%. And then this is 33% that no matter what you do, nothing will happen. Everything could go wrong. You do the best, keep the best training, you show up, you do this, and it's not your day. You came maybe with a better dog, you had a freak accident. You just had a freak accident, and you have to be smart enough of what you got to do. And in life, it's like that, that 33%, the guy show up with everything ready to go, and he goes, and the guy is driving, he's a disgusting bum, and he will never give him any money. And the guy's rich, filthy rich, will never give him $1. That guy already has 66%. But that 33% that this guy got it, so it's very difficult for you to have the 66% and then have the other 33%. So 66% is like you pushing yourself to the max, and you should be able to get that 66%, if not very close. Very weird when someone exceeds 66%. And that comes only with an area that I call the golden vein. It's called consistency. Because with consistency, you go from 66%, you might miss the mark sometimes, but because you're so consistent, all of a sudden, boom, boom, the chips are coming in. They're coming in. And if you didn't get it with us some buck, you'll do it with Chilindrina. But you're coming in. You never give up. You're relentless. And these things about life and make you strong and never give up and stuff like that. I can talk forever.
No,
I can one second. I can talk forever.
I want to
because
understand.
this is my life. Now I have 1,000 things to do.
I want to
and you asked me to
understand
start.
something.
Let me tell you guys how this video started. I was just talking. I just came from a walk. By the way, look at the T-shirt. Okay.
No, I want to understand.
And then this one. Can I record you? Because we haven't made any videos lately. And I said, listen.
I am your biggest fan.
And I said,
I'm a biggest fan.
and I said, listen.
And I know, and I believe for a fact that a lot of things you said is what changed things in this world. So I want just to clarify this. So in the rules of the 33%, there are 3 parts. First of all, no matter what you do, no matter how prepared you are, no matter how good you are, no matter how much talent you have.
You have to show up.
One moment. No matter how talented you are, no matter if you are the top of the tier, if on the first 32%, if this is not your day, nothing going to happen, right?
No, it's the contrary.
Okay.
There's 33%. The middle one is for excellent growth. This is Chico Lopez right here.
Okay.
The first one is anybody. Okay. I'm not saying they're going to get 30%. They might only get 15%. They might only get 5%.
Okay.
I know dorks that, they're negative. I mean, they show up and you give them the best product. And these dorks, dog rapists, they are below 33%. I mean, they'll never be anybody. They are completely disgusting animals.
Okay.
But you have the 33%. I mean, you can be friends and with the best guy in the world, and you're still going to be trash. Okay. But when you these 33% is difficult to get as well. Doesn't mean it's guaranteed. Nothing is guaranteed in life. You show up, and there are some components that have to happen with the log, with this and that, to create this 33%. The other 33%, this one here is Chico Lopez area. This here is very tough. Some people get this, they master this 33%, and they achieve another 5 from here, whatever, and they get to 40%. And these guys actually, if somebody gets 40%, he's a pretty good guy, let me tell you. But today's standards, this guy is a pretty good guy. But 66%, very difficult, extremely difficult. And then to get a chunk of the next 33%, you can only do with consistency. You understand? You have to have different elements. You have to have leadership. You have this. You need a lot of different things. You have to have a build up. You have to have so many things that will make you there. You understand? But like I said before, it's a combination. The most important thing is going to be the human, the person. And nobody is perfect. I make a lot of mistakes. I learn from my mistakes. Sometimes I'm too nice. Sometimes I'm too tough.
Too naive.
But too naive. A lot of times I'm so naive. I pay a lot of price for this naiveness. But I tell you one thing. I'd rather be tough than be weak. You understand? I'd rather be tough than be weak. And I was looking at this, and I made a post this morning because people back in the 1990s, they quit. They left the dogs. They didn't want to be part of this community coming in. I mean, they didn't want to deal with these lowlifes and these, dog fighters of today, or these dog fighting pretenders. They're garbage. And it's funny how they, hey, they'll snitch on me. Listen, dumbasses, they can only snitch on you if you're making a crime. And they can only snitch on you if they are committing or committed the crime together with you, and then they back off and they try to rat on you. But, let's say you and your homeboys are trying to go rape a little girl, and somebody's looking at it and call the cops on you because you're doing something wrong. That's not a snitching on you. That's actually calling somebody, having common sense, being a good citizen. And so for these dorks, and this video is not for those guys, by the way, so I don't even want to get into that. But the dorks say, they snitching, blah, 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 all this garbage community.
Advice dictionary and learn.
An advice that I want to give to the new generations Greatness is not easy. Greatness is tough. The biggest problem that people always had in the dogs, it was the dogs that were feeding were garbage. The supposed to be knowledge, which is not knowledge, but is what they know, what they understand, is completely garbage. And they are unable to reinvent themselves. Most people make the huge mistake to try to buy the first dog a mutt. To buy the first dog they buy is not the right dog. But they don't have the capacity to put this, to concentrate. The most important thing is to get to the winning point, where this was just something you got to put to the side, you got to move forward. So it becomes impossible for them to say, well, I'm working with the wrong dog. I bought from the wrong bloodline. Once they bought it, even if it came from the biggest douchebag in the world, they'll keep it. The only way they'll get rid of it is if there's other elements, if they come into play. But most people today, these guys were, especially someone that has no family, no love, from no wife, from no children, from nobody. Those guys, they're playing Nintendo, playing Xbox, playing this all day. They need to have a holding hand. They need to have a warm hand. And a lot of these guys that live in a basement or whatever, these guys today, they really need to kind of get together, even if he's among a whole bunch of garbage, and go through the path. So you find them that they know that they embrace mediocrity, because embracing excellence is extremely difficult. These guys, if they see a group of guys coming in here, and you see Michael Jordan coming down the street, you see Mandela walking down the street, you see Muhammad Ali walking down the street, you see Elon Musk or Steve Jobs walking down the street, or Ben Carlton walking down the street. They intimidated. They can't talk. They're insecure. They can't talk to those guys one-on-one. They'll walk away. They don't. But if they see Tupac Shakur coming down this road here, and some thugs, yeah, what's up? They will go with those, because they'll talk to each other. So that's why going to a place where there's people with greatness, they will not go there. So for the new generations that are coming through, learn that you were born in an era where the better dogs are gone, yet in an era where the dogman Chico Lopez is bringing the best dogs, was never available to anyone in history. This level of greatness was never available for two reasons. One, because it didn't exist. And two, because if it would exist back in those days, it wouldn't be available to the regular guy, no internet to connect, no nothing. I select my dogs. So some people say, wow, Chico, you have so many haters. The majority of them, 99%, don't know who I am. That's the truth. The other little bit percent are the ones that make the noise, which is just a few fools. Those guys, they beat the cloud chasers. They want to use my name. If they don't use my name, they are nobody. You understand? People want to know, and then you have the group that rejects, these guys have been declined. They call me, I didn't like him. Decline, you don't qualify, I don't like you. Blah, 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 blah. All these guys, they are waiting to see if someone will say something about Chico Lopez to flock together. They want to run together. You understand? And then you have, those are the weak guys. Those, when they look back at the dogs they have mutts. They go back to their home, they look at the dogs, they have mutts, where they had them in a chain, where they had them in a kennel. They really have not good dogs. And they know it. I mean, they know it to a point that we're wishing they can have my dogs. You understand? But it was not for them. So when you look at society, this new society deserves to know what the best dogs in the world are. They deserve to know the difference. They deserve to know what greatness is. You understand? And my voice, a lot of times, because I stay busy, is not, and I really don't breed a lot of dogs, so I cannot really sell dogs to everybody. But for them at least to know, just for them to know. And when it comes to my voice, a lot of times my voice, like I haven't made videos and stuff like that, which I will start making now, is not enough I will say, I'm not doing enough things to do that. It's not something of my interest. But I do get help though. The guys that hate me, those are my kind of like my workers, my best help. Because every time they mention my name and someone look at those guys, they look at them and say, all right, let me see who these guys. Woo! Now I know what they're talking about him. Because they fine. So anyhow, we're going from here to here to here, and now I'm going back to the first thing. 99%, 100%, 66%, 33%. A lot of people, some people might get confused and they might criticize that, but excellence is not for everybody. You understand? Excellence is a gift from God. And the pursuit to excellence is something that not many people are interested on, because being cool among your peers for some people is more desirable, you know. And when it comes to the American Pitbull Terrier, is a dog that it will be extinct very soon. But in the meantime, I'm having a lot of fun with them. My clients are having a lot of fun. We're working hard. You know, America was built by men that didn't sleep too much. It was built by men that worked very hard, by men that were tired. I work so hard with these dogs, and I love it every second. I love it. And I love to go to memory lane. I go to see my clients today, you know, very happy with them. You know, if you take 300 of my clients, I don't have 300 of my clients, so I can do that. But let's say you take 100 of my clients. Maybe I don't have 100 of my clients. So let's say if you have 50 of my clients, the 99 consensus of those guys is going to be very, very happy. God bless you. God bless the greatest country in the world, America. Have a great day. Be smart. And listen to me. Be always smart. Greatness is not in the masses. Greatness, there's no such a thing as a fraternity of great people. They don't. If you want to have friends and not have enemies or nobody that criticize you, start giving away ice cream. Somebody said that, not me. Start giving away ice cream. When you start saying the truth, you're going to offend a lot of people, especially those that are not willing to go the extra mile, especially those that are holding the worst end of it, those guys that cannot make the first 30%. So, but I hope you that are watching this video, you're a person that's smart, that can understand that, and I will close this video very soon, but you can understand that if you see in football, Tom Brady, along with a whole bunch of other guys, Tommy Romo and all these other great guys and legends from the 49ers and the Packers and so on and so forth, that are coming down the road in football, American football, and you see them coming, you will talk to them and listen to what they say, because these are the masters. They have one thing. These guys have one thing. It's called merits. The only reason you talk to these guys is because they have merits. But if in the other side of the sidewalk, you have a whole bunch of hooligans with footballs in their hand, dressed like the guys on the other side of the street, but they are not the guys on the other side of the street, and they never won any championships, any merits. Nobody really knows about them. They're really not known. They talk about the other guys across the street for them to be relevant, and that's called cloud. The cloud chasers are the other guys on the other side. It happens in boxing. You see on the side of the street coming Muhammad Ali, Pacquiao, you have Mayweather, you have Mano de Piedra Duran, Julio Chavez, Marco Antonio Barrera, Roy Jones coming down this way, and you talk to them about boxing, and this guy's going to tell you the truth. But there's guys on the other side with gloves, practicing, blah, blah, blah. And those guys, when they come here, not all of them know about boxing. Some of them do, can tell you the truth, but the majority, they don't. It happens in football, in soccer, and when it comes to the American Pitbull Terrier, on this side of the street, when you're looking for greatness, really, you have a whole bunch of dead men. They're already dead. You have Chico Lopez walking literally with a few friends. That man knows. And on the other side, you have the forums, you have the dogfighting chats, you know, all those guys on that side. You make a choice. You want to listen to the guy that actually has the merits, that did the great things as the biggest ambassador for the breed, for the original breed, the Golden Vein, Chico Lopez, or you want to talk to the guys that talk about Chico Lopez. It's up to you. Like common sense is really not something you're born with. You know what I'm saying? You kind of develop that with time. God bless you. My cup of coffee is empty and cold. God bless.